I was 9 then, so yeah. But you ready to rock and roll here, Terza?
Oh, let's do it.
Good
Let's
morning,
do
Dean.
it.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, welcome to, Helen, I suppose I ought to count how many episodes we've done. But anyway, welcome to Open Office Hour.
Since at least October last year, because I found my notes from
Okay.
from a meeting in October last year, and I think you might have been going just a little bit before that. So
All right. Very cool. So, welcome everyone. Today is July 3rd of, let's see, 2026, which means um, I have been in Colorado for more than 50 years. I remember driving out with my mom and my sister. See, Helen's been putting these genealogy notes, so it's like, oh, okay, I remember now. So we drove out from Florida to Colorado and arrived here the night of December 31st, 1975.
sweet.
So
Wow.
literally just in time for 1976. So uh, uh,
And today is Terza's 32nd wedding anniversary.
tomorrow,
Oh,
Oh,
tomorrow.
happy
tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow.
anniversary.
Here in New Zealand, it's the 4th already. Tomorrow it is her 32nd wedding anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, on that note, I have a lot of exciting stuff available for today, depending on which way we want to go. I would love to share some basic ideas with you about Claude and show you how a whole progression can work for you in Claude. So, and then of course, I also have presentations prepared for Meet Penny from Marbleism and Meet Eva from Marbleism. So, um, I have a full menu for you guys, depending on whatever you'd like to do. But first, Helen, go ahead and start
Yes.
us off.
Awesome. Well, kia ora, everyone. Happy 4th of July. It is the 4th of July here in New Zealand. Happy 250th birthday for America. We've been having a lot of fun, and we've got something special for you at the end of today. But what have you been using? And I know that there's a whole. I'm kind of like, even though I'm living in New Zealand, there's all the stuff going on in the US right now for the celebrations of the 250 years. And it is going to be absolutely phenomenal tomorrow for wherever you are. Some of it's starting tonight as the day before. So, federal holiday today for those of you that don't realize it. So, enjoy the long weekend and stay safe. So, what? Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, the tongue just got a little tied up. So how we start our meeting off is we find out what have you been using AI for this week. I have been slammed with other stuff and have not been using AI as much as I normally do. So Chat and I haven't had a talk for a while. I haven't looked at Magica for a few days, and what's the other one? I haven't been on Marbleism yet, and I've got to do the posts for this week, and I haven't done that yet. It's just been. I mean, we even and our apologies too. We were supposed to do our first podcast on Tuesday, but both Teresa and I were absolutely slammed and were not prepared for it. So we just decided we're going to try and do it this week. Yes, but I have a 3 day weekend, so for me that's rare. So, what do you guys? So, I have not been using AI much this week. I've had a little bit of chat. I use chat daily. So, Peggy, start us off. What have you been using AI for this week?
Well, I'm still using my chat. We're using Marbleism Sunny to post and Facebook, etc. Sunny still has to be edited all the time because he does stuff that is incorrect. So I've trained Monica, my assistant, to be able to take care of that. Thank goodness for that. And he's supposed to be posting. I know he's posting because I get all kinds of LinkedIn responses. But I talked to somebody yesterday. Isn't this interesting? You know, you meet somebody, and what do we talk about these days? AI. How do you get to know each other? What are you using? What am I using? So this gentleman told me yesterday there's something called Fable in Claude, which I don't know about. And then he also said for the syllabus I'm getting ready to do, and I know you talked about this, but I didn't attend that time, and I can't remember which week it was. Notebook LM. I should be using that. And that he brought up something I never heard of before, which is called Boardy. which will work with my GHL and move. Oh, and has something to do with writing your book, more book business. But I don't know. Have you ever heard of Bordy?
Nope.
Just throwing that out there as Boardy. Okay, so I just wanted to bring it up. Didn't haven't used it. Call was yesterday, so and I did take some time off yesterday and play. I'm learning a new game called Mahjong. So that took priority over AI.
I love that. I've got a mahjong game on my phone, and I play that often. But
Thank
it
you.
keeps you got to play it. It keeps playing, putting you up levels, and then of course, if I miss a day, I get dropped a level. So, but oh, one thing I forgot to mention, as I mentioned to Terza before, is that when I'm on TikTok scrolling through Instagram and stuff, I was so used to seeing do this with ChatGPT and ChatGPT and Canva, and you can earn this amount of money a month and blah blah blah. But you see all those ads rolling through. Now they are saying Claude and Canva. There's been a switch. I'm seeing more Claude and stuff instead of ChatGPT and stuff. So there's a shift going that you're seeing on TikTok and on Instagram as well. So yeah, but thank you, Peggy. I like the bawdy thing, and I look at that one. And isn't it interesting how our conversations change? Anybody else been using AI this week, and what have you been using it for? Dean, what fabulous stuff have you taught AI to do this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, uh, I had some interesting interactions. I told you last week about the texting SMS bot that I was working with. And I discovered that although I have that bot attached to certain workflows, in other words, if people don't answer me at a certain, like 3 days later or whatever, I'll start a workflow which will generate a SMS. What I didn't realize is I'm calling my customers and then I'll get off the phone and I'll send them a text with my business card or whatever. The chatbot, when they reply to me, thank you, it was great talking to you. The chatbot jumps in and there is no conversation required. I've already spoken with the customer. The chatbot starts in and it doesn't have it doesn't have a concept of the conversation I had with them. So the conversation is starting is really disconnected. And that was really scary. And I had to figure out how to disable that. But they're just carrying on a conversation with and the customer. One of them carried a conversation on from about 4 p.m. till about 8 p.m. with the chatbot after I've already spoken. And there's no need for me to talk to the customer for like another few weeks. So that was surprising and interesting. And now I could say funny. But what I've been really working on this week is training Claude and Cowork, I should say. And it's been kind of like one step forward, two steps back. Kind of like I'll have a fantastic session with Claude. I'll take him to one of the real estate websites that I do. I'll pull reports and things like that from, and I'll train it step by step to go in, retrieve those reports, print them out, where to place them, all that stuff, you know spend what should have taken 45 minutes. I'll spend 2.5 hours with Claude getting all the steps down and feeling like I had a great day. The next day I log into Claude and say, okay, let's test what we learned yesterday. And Dean, I have no memory of that conversation. 2.5 hours down the drain. So, and I had set up my global MD folder what I believe was correctly and my project MD folders correctly. So that shouldn't have been an issue. But anyway, I actually asked Claude, I went and watched the video produced by Anthropic, one of them, getting started with Claude, and dropped the folders in a different place. And yesterday we had an amazing session. So Claude and I are developing a weekly newsletter together, and he's going to have to pull information from about 9 or 10 different sources. So I'm training Claude on those 9 or 10 different stories step by step, and it's amazing.
Awesome.
So
So
that's quite wonderful, Dean. The thing that I wanted to talk about today with Claude is exactly what you mentioned, those instructions. Um, and we'll see. I'm curious to see. Our instructions are probably going to be quite similar, um, but I am curious about your having lost the steps that you already created, except that they probably live in your chat.
no, no. Well, yes, they may live in my chat, and I've been trying to go back in the chats and find it so that I could save myself a lot of time. But I bought Cowork, installed it 3 weeks ago, and this is like the fifth time this has happened, not the first or the second. So I am just, yeah, I'm yelling at the computer, you know, and like, would you like to continue? I said, no, I'm gonna take a break. I'll see, I'll start tomorrow when I'm not so angry. But yeah, so it is the setup is everything. Absolutely. And I'm sure that's what you're going to discuss. And I'm really interested because you may have a little nuance that I haven't done, but it's really amazing. And what I'm doing, and I think this is good for everybody here, is when I have a really good session and we get productive, whether it's Claude or another AI, I ask that AI, can you please write me a summary of everything everything we accomplished today? You just give it to me in bullet form, or I don't need, an 11-page summary. And then I save that. And when the AI, and it's not just Claude, when the AI can't remember, I'm able to go back there and paste it into the chat and then either jog the memory or not lose 2 hours. And then
Or
what I
just put into chat asking if
go ahead.
you
Oh,
verify that you logged
were you
in
gonna say
each one.
something?
Yeah, I had an experience with Perplexity Pro the other day. So I have the app, not the web browser, because it's an option you can get. And I was having a great conversation and whatnot. Then all of a sudden say, hey, log in. And it was one of those, it's two-factor authentication. It's got to pump to the browser, pump back to the app. And whatever it was I was talking about, that chat got lost. Because, and I'm assuming it's because for whatever reason the authentication expired. So when I was chatting to it, I didn't even look. I mean, the application's open, I'm chatting with it, and when when it re-off, it logged me in, but it didn't have that record of the chat that we had when I was not logged in. So it's basic is come up and say, well, make sure that you're already authenticated with the app that you're using before you begin this nice conversation and lose it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Great advice, Paul. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else been using AI this week? Good work, Dean. Emmeline.
Well, mine's sort of a continuation because I'm working on this workbook, and I have an introduction done that I worked with chat, and now my next step is I was going to take that, put it into Claude to fine tune it and maybe make it more personal to me. But I have not been using Claude, so this will be a new step for me. So that's my plan.
Excellent. Always fun to go in and play. Oh, that's one thing I also had this week too, is that I have chat write posts for me, and then I turn those posts into my podcast later on. But we're using this system called ProPass where I post every day, and I have it create an image based on what the theme is for the day, and then I tell it to write. I specifically say write a post and give it the directions for the post, and it starts creating an image. I don't know what's going on with chat on that, and so I hit the stop and go. So I copy and paste the instruction again. At the end, I put not an image in big capital letters with exclamation points after it, and then send it in, and then it gives me what I want. But it's been interesting how it's suddenly turning write into create and creating images and things. Okay, who else have we got? What else is going on in the AI world with people today? Nope. Okay, then I'm turning it over to Terza for our topic for the week. I think we're talking to Penny this week, aren't we? I love Penny. Penny's awesome.
Well, would you guys like to start with Claude or Penny? I'm good with either one.
I would say Claude, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, since we just talked about it.
Yeah, that seems like a good flow. So I read, I think it was just last night, somebody had posted and I don't remember where or which one of my newsletters it was, so apologies to the author, but it's probably not just one person saying it. So here, let me just open up my screen. I'm going to go right into, hang on, I clicked too many buttons. I'm going to go right into Claude, my Claude screen, and just share it with you. So here's what I want to start with. This is what we all know and love, whether we use ChatGPT or Claude or any of them. This is the chat. This is what we know and love. A chat is where you ask it questions, you can ask it research, you can plan a strategy, you can ask it to explain things to you. So we already know this quite well. We've been doing this for at least a year now, our little group. A task now, like when you go over to Claude Cowork, I'll just pop over to there. That's when you tell it something specific you want to accomplish. And it could be a string of tasks that you've already identified. And Claude Cowork will go off and do those things for you. So here's where I want you to pause for a moment and notice as you're starting to do more and more tasks, start to notice which ones you are repeating, because those will become the basis of when you are ready and you go over to code and you say, I do this task every day, or I do this set of tasks every day. I want you to automate this for me. That's kind of where we're headed. I have not done that in Claude Code. I've done some of that in ChatGPT with Codex. So first I wanted to share that. Then I read something about five prompts that you can put into your Claude.md, and I'll explain what that is in a moment. But before I forget, let me stop sharing my screen. I want to put those 5 prompts into the chat so you can just copy paste them. Just copy paste them and stick them somewhere for later, because you can use them whether you put them in ChatGPT or Claude, and you may find them useful. So give me a moment while I go pull that up. This is an impromptu detour on my part, but I was just thinking, you may find this super interesting. So here it is. Let me just copy paste them. This is something you can add to Claude.md, but just save them for future reference, because these will really help your prompts all the way around. These are 5 instructions you can specifically give to Claude, but I'm very sure you can give them to ChatGPT as well, on how to have it conduct chats with you or handle instructions from you. So ask, don't assume is number 1. So if it's unclear, ask before writing a single line. Never make silent assumptions. When running unattended, pick the most reasonable interpretation, proceed and record the assumption rather than blocking. 2, implement the simplest solution for simple problems, better solutions for harder problems. Do not over-engineer or add flexibility that isn't needed yet.
Are we
Yes,
supposed
Helen.
to be seeing this on a screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me click return. Oh, it won't let me do it. Hang on, there's too many characters. I'm sorry, and I'm glad you pointed that out. I will. Okay, here's the first 4 steps that I'm talking about that I thought you were on screen, so my apologies. They're in the chat, and here's the 5th one. I hit return, but I didn't notice that it hadn't gone. So I'm up here on up here on number 1, ask, don't assume. These are things, you give this whole block to Claude or ChatGPT. Ask, don't assume. Number 2 is implement the simplest
Excuse
solution.
me, are we supposed to be seeing something on screen, or
Yeah, hang on.
Because I don't see it.
Yep.
It's in the chat, Marcy. The 5 options are in the chat.
I will
You
bring it
mean the
up another
link?
way.
Is that what you're doing? You're putting the link in it?
No, I'm just showing it to you. Hold on. I didn't put this in a separate document.
We can read the chat, and if it's easier for you, you could just tell us, and we'll read the chat.
Okay. Absolutely. But I'll also put it on screen here so you can see. I will make this available later in a document that you can have. So I apologize. I was moving quickly. So here it is on screen, the same thing that's in chat. So ask, don't assume. If something is unclear, ask before writing a single line. 2 is implement the simplest solution for simple problems, better solutions for harder problems, and do not over-engineer, add flexibility that isn't needed. Number 3 is don't touch unrelated code, but please do surface bad code. I realize this is stepping forward more for when we're doing coding, but I think Dean will find this useful. 4 is flag uncertainty explicitly. If you're unsure about something, see point 1 above. And then 5, I'm always open to ideas on better ways to do things. Please don't hesitate to suggest a better way or one that has long-lasting impact over a tactical change. So I will share that later when I catch up with my notes. Let me go back to bringing up Claude. All right.
So do you need to put that in every time you're going to do something with Claude? Or is there a way to put it in as a file and then have it look at the file?
That's what I'm getting up to next. So,
Oh, thank you.
So here's what happened. This morning I said, I just read I can update Claude.md, which MD just stands for Markdown file. Claude.md is the file you can put into Claude that gives it instructions about how you like to operate. So then I said to Claude, did I create this already? And then 2, whether it's yes or no, I want to teach my open office hour attendees how to do it for themselves. So it thought for a little bit and it said, yes, I did already create it, sort of. And it gave me all the details of that. So that's good. It went back and looked and said I did it. And then teaching this to a mostly free plan open office hour audience. So Claude.md is specifically a Claude Code or Cowork feature. So just know that up front. It requires a paid plan. However, what it then told me is that Tier 1 free works for anyone today. You can go into instructions for Claude by going to Settings. I'll show you this in a second. I'll just read it first. Settings, click your initials, Settings, Instructions for Claude. This is account-wide, applies to every conversation, free on every plan. This is the closest free equivalent to Teach Claude Who You Are once. And then, so that will be down here when we get to it. The other place to do it is in projects. I just want you to notice over here on the left where you have projects. Free users get up to 5 projects, each with its own instructions. And this is closer still to Claude MD's scoped behavior. Rules that only apply to one area of work, just without a literal file. And then Tier 2 is paid for those people who are already using Coworker code. Claude.md is a literal file Claude reads automatically at the start of every session in a given project or folder. So I said, great, do you want me, and then it said, do you want me to draft a one-pager for this segment similar to how you did the Marbleism handouts? And I said, yes. And then it said, good, I see the format you've been using, because what I've been creating before, same structure. So it knows what I prefer. And then says ready to drop into Claude Design, same as the other set, which is what this is right here. So if I click on this, what you'll see now on the right-hand side of, at least on my screen, this is the file that I'm going to give to, I've already downloaded it, but I will give to Claude Design. So I just wanted you to have a peek directly into my process. So there's the file. I already read through it and said, yep, that's great. And then down here, again on the left-hand side, I've got Design, which comes with the paid subscription. I don't remember. I don't think you have it with the free version. But if I click Design, I'll have to reshare the screen because you won't see it. So give me a moment. I'm getting used to this. Nope, Design. This is where I've already had Design. It created for me a Meet Penny handout and a Meet Eva handout, which I'm going to provide to you whether I go over them today or not. So you'll have them. I've only given Helen the link for the Meet Penny handout. But you saw me do this last week for Sunny. It's the very similar layout, explains what she does and how it works, and prompt that you could copy directly from here and put into your Marbleism setup. So what I can do now for what I just talked about, this Claude instructions that you can give, I can say, what was I say? Okay. Create this handout in the same style. And I've got something in my, hang on, I've got to move my window. There we go. Stop that. Well, I'm having a little bit of a struggle because I have a little thing following me around. There we go. No, it's... Okay, I'm going to go off, share for a moment. Trust me, there's a little plus sign down here that's covered up, in my case, by a pencil. Be right back. Just go attach that file. Okay, now, just a moment, Dean, I'll show you. Okay, I don't know what you can see here, but I have create this handout in the same style, and there's the document that I uploaded that I couldn't show you while I was sharing my screen. So if I click send, it'll do its thing, and then we'll get to see it. Dean, go ahead. Nope, you're muted.
I have to unmute. Can you give me an example of use case how you might use Claude Design?
Yeah, this is what we're doing right now.
Excellent. I just in the steps that I was teaching Claude yesterday, what was really interesting, it was pretty complex. There were a lot of drop downs and so forth that I want to say 4 or 5 days ago, Claude kept telling me I can't do this, I can't do that, and it would say I can't see the drop downs. You have to do these steps for me, and you know, which sort of made sense because sometimes screen shares people can't see a pop up and that type of thing. So I was sort of believing it, and then we ran into memory issues and everything. Well, my session yesterday, when I set up my folders properly and really, improved things on the setup side, man, Claude went through and did everything. And I didn't say a thing about, that there was a problem last time. I just wanted him to. And anyway, what I wanted to add to that was because we were doing 4 different cities in my area and these little graphic reports that I want to insert in my newsletter, I just tongue in cheek, because I didn't think Claude would do it. I said, all right, the data is great. The graphic card that you downloaded, that looks great. Now what we need to do is we need to take certain items out of this graphic and could make it shorter. so that when we stack it with other graphic cards, and it went and edited the graphic. I mean, that was after like 2 hours worth of work with him, and I thought he was going to say, "No, I can't do that. I did all this other stuff for you." And then on top of everything we built, he went and actually changed the graphic to make it fit to what we were going to do. And I said, put this in your permanent instructions as part of it was like a 12-step task. So I guess that was the graphic part of Claude maybe that stepped in.
Yeah, that could be. It could be that, unbeknownst to you, it got updated. So that the next time you got to use it, it was already there. But as soon as complete this part, I'll go back and show you. Claude has, or Anthropic, has updated Claude. It's now available. You have Sonnet 5, which is their latest model of Sonnet, and then of course, yes, Fable. I'm excited about Fable. Fable is this supposed to be hugely intelligent, amazing Claude upgrade that we can use between now and July 7. I'm excited about it, but I'm holding back because it's like I want to give it something amazing to do. So I haven't done anything yet. But I'll share in just a moment. So all that stuff I was just telling you that was in text format in the Claude Chat, after Claude Chat made that specification document for me, I had downloaded it and then uploaded it over here. I don't know what you can see on my screen, but in my lower left corner, I have this little pencil that belongs to Zoom. I could literally scribble all over my screen using this pencil in Zoom. But every time I moved my display window, the pencil moved with it, and it's covering up the little plus sign where I could put in the document. So that's why I had to go off screen. Anyway, now I have a 2-page document that I'll be able to share with you after this call that will teach you how to ask Claude to create this document for you. So you can let Claude write it for you if you don't know what to do. You can say, I want to set up standing instructions for Claude so I don't have to re-explain myself every time. Ask me a few questions first. What I do and who I serve, how I like Claude to communicate, the tone, the length, the format, and anything I never want Claude to do or say. Then write 3 to 5 sentences I can paste directly into settings, and then the instructions for Claude. And then you would paste them into settings, and now you will have programmed Claude to your style and your expectations. So that's for the free version, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, you can do something quite similar in ChatGPT. You might have to change the wording a little bit, but you could even say in ChatGPT, I got these instructions about Claude. Can you do the same thing? And ChatGPT will say, well, sure, here, you just do this. And it will guide you what to do. So I still use ChatGPT, by the way, but I'm letting Claude do a lot more of my business stuff and especially more of my automation stuff. So any questions here before I leave this screen?
Terza, I have a question. I've noticed, and like I said, in the last few days, I've really had some breakthroughs with Claude, so it may be different right now. But I've noticed that the Claude chat on the web has been a much better writer than Claude Cowork, and it's literally night and day as far as the sophistication and really the concisiveness. And I'm wondering if you experienced that or you were aware of that, or if there's a way to get Claude Cowork to be a better writer for my marketing or my business materials.
Not that I know of, but I think that's a great question and an interesting observation. So I haven't noticed it, Dean, because I now do most of my work in the Claude app, which is which
Yeah, and the
leads me
Claude
to,
app is just such a fantastic writer.
yeah.
Um, and Claude Cowork just really, and the reason I know this, I've had so many problems with memory and Claude Cowork freezing up that I would go over to the app for the same question or the same thing I need written. And I was actually able to compare apples to apples, not that I wanted to, but out of necessity, I had to jump from one to the other. And it was night and day.
Yeah. That is an interesting thing to observe. So when we go back over here, oops, sorry, I'm kind of moving my cursor everywhere. Let's close this up. This was the chat I already told you about. But I want to go down here where I can show you Sonnet 5, which starting last week I started using Sonnet 5 more. So let me quickly show you. It says here Sonnet 5 is the most efficient for everyday tasks, and you can choose even the level of effort from low all the way up to max. That little I probably next to it will probably say may use excessive tokens, right? So Claude is trying to be judicious, or at least warn you about using too many tokens. So be careful in your what you choose. So I've been in Claude Cowork. I've been using Sonnet 5 High. So I don't know if that will help you. But then here's the additional models. Here's that Fable 5 included until July 7. You can use up to 50% of your weekly limits on Fable 5, then it runs on usage credits. Fable 5 draws down usage much faster than Opus 4.8, which is the next one. So earlier this week, I was using Opus before Fable 5 was opened up again. I was using 4.8 in the chat to talk me through complex, my strategizing and how I might best use Cowork for what it is I was trying to accomplish. And I worried a little bit about the usage when I thought, you know what, just go all out, hit the wall, which I did later, by the way, but it was in Cowork. So if we go over and look just momentarily, I don't want to spend too long here, but over in Cowork, these are my chats in Cowork. You'll see that they're much less, but they're all saved. So hopefully yours are too, Dean, unless something happened. I ran into an issue, so I said, here. I was trying to use Claude Cowork plus another app called Appify to generate a list of leads for my community cards business. And it was doing exactly what I asked. However, it seemed to be getting pretty work intensive. So I wanted it to do 2,500 leads because somebody else in my world said, oh, you can just use Appify and do 2,500 leads. And I said, oh, cool, then I won't have to do it every day. So I set about that task. Interestingly enough, Claude itself said, that's fine, but cap it at 150 so you can stop and check what it's doing. And I went, okay, I can do that. So I don't know if it's because I put in the check, but it seemed to be taking a long time, and it would even come back and say, it would just say, I don't remember exactly where it was, but it would say, this is going to be a massive slate of actions. Do you want me to continue? And I would say yes, because I wanted to see how far we would go. But at some point I said, just stop. But and I went and took a break, like you, Dean. It's like, okay, I don't know. So then I said, okay, well, this was really cool, but I don't want to repeat this same issue again until I know what's happening. I went and bought the extra credits, $50 worth, but what am I spending them on? I want to know that first before I go tell it to go do more work. So,
That's funny. Let me ask you, I'm looking at your chat list on the left.
mm-hmm.
When I was trying to tell Claude that, hey, we've already covered this subject before. In fact, we spent hours on it, and it didn't have any. I could not, or not could not, but I did not know how to go any further than, let's say, what your list is right there. So let's say that list, just hypothetically, is for the last 7 days. If
Mm-hmm.
you need to go back 2 weeks, how would you do that?
I would just literally go into Cowork and click on new task and say, I would say go back through my entire uh, chat list with you, meaning you Cowork,
Right.
and look for something specific. Or you might even say, I asked, we did all this work with you the other day, and now I can't find it. Where is it? And just see what it says.
Okay, that's an idea.
Yeah, but you can see I've set my default now for Claude Cowork to Sonnet 5 High,
Sure.
whereas
So,
my chats are Sonnet 5 Medium.
so one thing I want to share with everybody on the call, and I think Paul can probably back me up on this. Um, when Claude or any LLM or AI tells you it can't do something, I push back, especially if I know they have already done either that same thing or they've done something similar. And I push right back and I say, no, yes, you can, and you already have, and sometimes I'll document exactly what it was that they already have done, and other times you don't need to. And it thinks and it comes back and says, oh, I'm sorry, good call. You're right. I can do that. So right when you think you have to stop your work and go somewhere else, like over to ChatGPT or something, push back. Tell them no, you can do this, and I know you can. And 3 out of 4 times, I promise you, you'll be able to continue.
Some of the newer model versions, I mean, if you haven't heard on the internet already about them, where they're a little bit more safety prone than anything else. So everything is subject to interpretation, but as Dean just indicated, just if you know it's done it before, it can do it again. Uh, and that's where the memory comes up, and this is, oh, my fault. I forgot that. But it's also a challenge. Sometimes you have to reword things. This is ancient history now, but during the election time frame, I was talking to various chatbots at the time, and if you brought up anything about president or whatever, it said, "Sorry, can't do that during the election." And it's like all I was wanting is like history of the presidents, how many, and then we were talking about assassination attempts because I think this is where Trump got shot in the ear. And it would not bring anything up until I went around to somewhere, wording it with the executive legacy department of the US and how many presidents and the Secret Service got involved. And a roundabout way, it came up with the answer. There were a couple of assassination attempts. Of course, Lincoln was successful. But it was really strange. The direct frontal just asked the question, it put up the roadblocks.
Yeah. The guardrails are in place. I guess I'd rather have them overprotective than not, considering how people can get around them, as you did. So, but did that help you, Dean, or concur with what you said, Dean?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm not sure if I should go into meet Eva and meet Penny at the moment, because I want to leave a little bit of room for Helen to share her surprise. Would it be okay if we just share if Helen just shares the document with you guys? At least the Meet Penny one. But similarly, remember that here I will share my screen for just a moment just to show you similarly. Oops, when I do that, I need to remember not to do that. This is back over here in Marbleism. Each of these, you could call them mini chatbots. And just like with ChatGPT and Claude, you can ask them specific instructions. So, for example, for Penny, I could say, let me see, I'm just going to pretend that that's all the things that I wanted. So in Penny, when she comes back, I can literally just type into the chat when it comes back up. I can say, tell me what you can do for me. What's the scope of the work you can do? How do I talk to you? And she will tell me. Just like we've been doing for ChatGPT and Claude and in any of the others. So I just wanted to share that with you quickly. And then also just let me know if you find the Penny handout useful. I'm always looking for patterns, things that can be done universally across chatbots. So that's what I wanted to share with you. All right. Anything else in there? All right. Thanks, Peggy. Oh, I wanted to ask Peggy. I'm sorry. I did see your comment. You said Perplexity is a good writer too. Yes, it is. But it doesn't help solve Claude. Can you ask it if it can write as well as other AIs? You mean like ask Claude if it can write as well? Or Perplexity? Sure. You can ask that. It will probably, if it's Claude will probably ask you, what is it you like about those other AIs? So, yeah, they're becoming a lot easier to work with, I think. I hope, as well as more complex. So, all right, on that note, for real, I'm going to turn it over to Helen.
Great information today, and thank you everybody for sharing as well. So a few months ago, I wrote a song called America Celebrates 250 Years, and again, I wrote the lyrics. I had Suno do the voice and the music, and then I had ChatGPT create the persona and the picture that you will see of here of Wyatt. And we came up with a really American type of name because we wanted a good old American boy to be singing a patriotic song. And so we've got Wyatt Jefferson Callahan, and yes, he's a little yummy, this one. I just wish he was real, but he's not. But that's okay. We can dream. So this is hang on, I'm going to share screen first. So this is one that I wrote, and I'll put the link in the description in the chat for you as well. So here we go, and enjoy. Where's the play button? Oh, there it is. Oh, hang on. We have to start at the first note.
Voices rose for liberty, and history will change. Through the years and through the trials, that spark still leads the way. A nation built on hope and courage, still shining bright today. 250 years of freedom, 250 years of pride. From sea to shining sea we stand with liberty as our guide. The dream that started long ago still lights the sky anew. America, we celebrate 250 years with you. stand with liberty as our guide. The dream that started long ago still lights the sky anew. America, we celebrate 250 years with you. 250 years with you, America. 250 years with you.
That he was live, eh? They were clapping for him.
Yeah, they put the Suno put that at the end, and I was like, yes, I'll take that. But wishing everybody in the States a happy 4th of July, happy 250th anniversary. Go out there, have fun, and don't drink and drive. That's my other message. But have a happy 4th, everybody.
I'm taking the bus to the Hollywood Bowl.
Excellent. I'm taking the bus to the market in about 4 hours.
Good. Have fun.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be a
Happy
fun
New
day.
Year. Happy New
Happy
Year.
4th of July.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
you.
Hope.
Thanks, Helen.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Helen.
Terza.
Thank you, Terza.
Bye-bye.